What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all doing well today. We are 3 weeks away from Metroid Prime 4's release, and I am joined by the one and only Josie Woe today to discuss just this monumental title and the fact that it's coming out so soon. Josie, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back. I haven't talked to you about something like for a while, so hyped to run it back. Excited about Metroid Prime 4, all of it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's just a perfect way to just jump right into it. Just talking about just before, the game is out in 3 weeks, but, just leading up to it, where is your hype level right now before the game's release? Internally, I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm a 10 out of 10. I've been looking forward to this game
hmm
ever since 2017 when Nintendo announced it, delayed it. It's been a long road. But I'll tell you, the reason why I've been hyped is not really because of what Nintendo's been doing. It's just the fact that I'm just a diehard Metroid fan. Personally, I think Nintendo's marketing hasn't been that great, and we'll get into that pretty soon. But yeah, just starting out, where is your hype level at for this game?
I think I'm probably about an 8 out of 10. I'm very excited about this game and I'm really looking forward to what it is, but I feel like I still haven't seen that much of it. So I think like one really good trailer could get me all the way hyped there, but like there's a lot of unknowns still. Like, is there a multiplayer aspect or is there anything other than just the story? Like, I would really like to see that kind of stuff, and I think like once I do, that could get me to a hype for this game. I'm very excited for something new for Metroid. I mean, I loved Dread, and that's what really got me into the franchise. And then I haven't played Metroid Prime 2 or 3, but I beat the first one because it came out on Switch. So
Yeah, and I think that just kind of goes into just the next perfect question to really talk about is just Nintendo's marketing as a whole. Because personally, I don't think Nintendo's marketing so far has been all that great. Now, they did release a trailer about a week ago. I don't know if you saw it. It's basically called Metroid Prime 4, the Survive trailer. It was about a minute long. I don't know if you got a chance to see that. That contained like some brand new shots, very small, minute shots. It wasn't a lot of new stuff, and it was really good. It had some epic music behind it, but it wasn't like anything big. And I would think like for a game that has been basically in the making for almost a decade, I would have thought that they would have just taken it and just really built this up to be an event. Like, for example, we think about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like, a month before that game launched, they were really quiet up until about a month before, and then right about a month before, they had that big epic story trailer. They had a gameplay
yeah.
demonstration, and then they really made it feel like an event. And for this game, the fact that it's been in the works for almost a decade, and it's about to release. It's Nintendo's biggest expensive project to date. And all they've done so far is just some small little trailers here and there, no elaboration whatsoever after those trailers. Waited till just about the 11th hour to give us an exact release date. It's just strange to me. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think their like marketing for this is all over the map because parts of it are really exciting. Like when we see this in a direct, people are hyped, but like it feels like they've just been drip feeding us. And I think that's like more of a common thing with the Switch 2 generation. Like we think about like Kirby Air Riders. We didn't know very much about that game, and then we got random like 2-hour two directs from Sakurai that just like are bizarre, where he goes into every little minute detail and it's cool, but like marketing hype wise, it's a little strange to me. I mean, like even Pokemon Legends ZA, like there was a lot of unknowns and it's just consistently like Nintendo seems very cryptic with their marketing recently. Yeah, it just seems like weird decisions, but it doesn't take away that I think this game is going to be amazing. I think it just like is going to hinder some of the reach for like new fans and stuff like that because I feel like a direct would make so much sense to go hard on Metroid and just show us everything and like why you need to buy this game, and that just has yet to happen. And we don't really know like much of the story. We don't really know much of what's happening. We don't know the new mechanics really, or like if there's anything that sets this apart, right? We just know that this is a Prime game, which is great, but like where is the selling point here?
I mean, we know that Samus's psychic powers can help her open doors. That's I mean, literally that voice. I think
It's
back.
like that in the bike.
Yeah, that's about it. Is you speaking of Kirby Air Riders though, just not to go off tangent for a little bit. About 30 minutes before you and I entered into our little Discord call, Nintendo posted another 5-minute overview trailer for that game. Literally, you've already had two almost 1 hour directs for that game, and you have another game that people really want to see more of, and like, no, you're gonna here's another Kirby trailer and you're gonna like it. Which should be fair.
Yeah, they're crazy.
I mean, I played the test ride, the demo event, and it was fun. It was cool. I'm not getting it day one because Metroid Prime 4 is coming out 2 weeks later, but I'm just like,
yeah, we've
seen enough to know whether or not people have seen enough to make their decision on whether or not the game is for them. There doesn't need to be any more. That's just me though. I think Nintendo really just needs to.
No, I agree. I mean, it's just weird, like how hard but they didn't even tell us that much about this Kirby game until like a couple weeks ago. So it's just like their rollout right now is so strange because they have a lot of very exciting games. They have games that have some crazy cool features, but it seems like they're just like, I forgot to market this. Let me just like throw everything out like super quick right before it comes out. It feels like, I don't know, like what I did in high school, like about my assignments, you know? I'd get to the last like 11:50 and I need to turn it in 10 minutes and I'm just scribbling it all down. And
they thought they could coast through Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza's hype and just let that just roll them through all throughout. And now they realize, oh wait, we still have 3 more games to launch. We have Hyrule Warriors, then Kirby Air Riders, then, which to be fair, Hyrule Warriors is also an amazing game. That game has taken so much of my time recently. Massive Zelda fan, love that. That game has kind of suffered the same feeling. It got some small little trailers here and there, no really elaboration whatsoever. Those trailers also felt very last minute put together as well. They were good,
yeah,
but they were very. You could tell that they were just like, oh wait, this game is still here. We gotta let people know about this.
Yeah, it's like they're like, oh my god, this comes out in 2 weeks. We gotta get this stuff rolling. And so, I don't know, like I really wish they weren't doing that with Prime 4 because I feel like they're missing a lot of like the wider gaming audience that they could capture, because obviously like people like you and I and a lot of people watching this video are gonna be out there day one buying it regardless, because we know Metroid is a really solid franchise, right? Like, it's just, with Nintendo fans, Metroid and quality is pretty synonymous. But with the wider gaming market, it's like, I mean, these games sell 2 million on a really good like game, right? Which is unfortunate because they're great games, so they could be selling a lot more. And it feels like Nintendo's just not capturing that audience that could come into these games as a new player and become a fan of the franchise.
Yeah, I agree. And to your point, this game needs to do well. More than any other game that Nintendo's released, this game needs to do well. Like, I mean, it's not a stretch to say this is probably Nintendo's most expensive project to date, because they had 2 years of development that was thrown down the drain and they had to start all over. And now another additional 5-6 years that they were working on this new version that we're about to play in a couple weeks. So it really has been just, it's cost them a lot to make this game a reality. And so I would hope that it does really well, because even Metroid Dread, a game that was widely beloved and widely, celebrated, first new 2D Metroid game in roughly 19 years, that game only sold about 3 million units when it finally released. And so I'm really, really hoping that, despite all this, its ups and downs, even with the marketing, that it can pull out just a miracle when it comes to actual release.
I'm just intrigued to see what that motorcycle means, because I feel like that has a lot of strange implications, The last time they put a motorcycle in a game, I don't know, it was like Breath of the Wild, right? So
yeah, it was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a cool traversal mechanic, though, through the whole world.
Perfect transition to the motorcycle itself, because I was very shocked to see all the online discourse with the motorcycle, because literally before that trailer aired in the Direct, a lot of people were like, where's the release date? I'm so excited for Metroid Prime 4, it's going to be amazing. The moment many people saw that motorcycle, people thought, this is not Metroid, this is stupid, why is she riding a motorcycle? This is so freaking dumb. Why? And I'm just like, if you don't, the first thing that came to mind, I didn't, Twitter is a crazy storm any time of day, but I literally wanted to type, if you don't want to use the motorcycle, you could always use the morph ball. What is your thoughts on the motorcycle whenever it was revealed?
I mean, I thought it was pretty badass. I think she looks awesome, and I feel like it's very fitting with Samus. Like, she is a baddie, and if she has a motorcycle that makes her look even cooler, it's fitting. And I think, like, if that motorcycle is in there for not very many, like, practical reasons, sure, it's kind of dumb. But if we get that motorcycle and that is, like, important to the traversal of the game, and especially if it's open world, I think it will be, that's, like, not a bad way to go. And having vehicles in a Metroid game makes actually so much sense because of how reliant they are, like, even the old 2D games on just the ship,
Right.
So it doesn't... It's not that far of a reach for her to come out of the ship in a motorcycle. It's just cool.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to put a new spin on the Metroid Pro, because I mean, Metroid has kind of been the same for almost its entire. There hasn't really been much innovation to it, and a lot of diehard Metroid fans would probably go down my throat when I say this, but like, a lot of people would argue saying Metroid doesn't need innovation; it needs to stay in its normal Metroidvania format. And I would argue, you can still keep it in its Metroidvania format and give some innovation to the way you traverse the world. And I think this motorcycle, I look at it as another way of fast travel. That's really all I look at it,
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but yeah, I'm excited to see how just how much it's utilized. One of the things I really liked about that trailer and the direct is how how quick it transitions. Like you see Samus riding the motorcycle and then she jumps off and then it immediately goes back into first person view. That was really cool to just how quick and seamless it is. So I think it's going to be a great addition.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be awesome, and I don't really understand people that were upset about it. I think it's just a lot of purists that are like, oh, if it's different, it's not Metroid. But it's like, how did you ever think that they wouldn't change it? They have to.
Yeah, I totally agree. Next question I have is, what do these darn Amiibo do? Because they're $40 they're $40 a piece. 2 of them have already released, and we don't even know what the heck they do. So I just think it's really weird. Again, goes back to just Nintendo's crazy marketing. You have 2 Amiibo figures that are on the shelf for this game, and we have no idea what the heck they do.
Yeah, the $40 Amiibo is kind of insane. I feel like the pricing on their physical stuff is crazy lately. But and I feel like if they don't put like something kind of that's cool but also not necessary, like I'm assuming we're getting some sort of cosmetic, like maybe an extra variant of the suit or something for Samus, because if they put something that important behind it, people are going to be so upset.
Yeah, I agree.
Feels like a bad idea.
It's the reason why I'm not purchasing the Galaxy Amiibo is because when they did that overview trailer for Galaxy and Galaxy 2, they revealed that those Amiibo simply give you a power-up and like a 1-up mushroom. And for $40, I'm sorry, that's just not enough for me. And so I'm really hoping that it's more than just, say, a missile expansion or an energy tank. That would just be a waste, in my opinion. I can explore the world and find those. I don't need to scan a $40 Amiibo to get an extra missile expansion or an energy tank. I'm really hoping that they do those justice, because yeah, that would make a lot of fans, I think, not happy, because pricing in general, there's a lot of fans are still not very happy at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's put themselves in a tough spot by being a little bit anti-consumer these days, unfortunately. So
yeah,
I don't know. The 40, I mean, if they put something too important though behind those Amiibo, it's like, in order to get the full experience of the game, you're gonna end up having to pay like $120, which is not cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, totally agree.
Cosmetic, I think, makes the most sense.
Yeah, and I hope it's something like that as well. When it comes to, before I move on to my next question, do you have another question that you've been hoping Nintendo would answer before they launch this game?
Just like, what else is there? Is it just Metroid Prime 4, or do we get an extra? Is there post game? That kind of stuff. Like, what is it gonna look like? in the long term of this game.
Yeah, I totally agree. Another thing I would love for them to tease is a bit more of the story this time around, and how big this world is, because we have seen the jungle area and we have seen the desert. And the jungle area looks a bit more linear, the desert looks a bit more open. There's a lot that's still, and again, goes back to kind of what we were talking about, this is why Nintendo needs to do an overview trailer, because literally, we know almost nothing. I would like to get a tease of just how big this world is for a game that's been in development for almost a decade at this point. I would think that this would be probably the biggest Metroid Prime ever made. And so, and I have yet to feel that. I'll be honest. As hyped as I am to play it,
Totally.
and I have yet to feel that this game is grand in scale, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it's really surprising to me that we haven't gotten just a game specific direct for this yet, because that could solve all of these problems we're having, I don't know. I really wonder if they're going to do that and just announce it randomly extremely close to the game launching to try to get a bunch of hype up right before the release, because that would make some sense. But this game is in dire need of a little bit more info out there.
Yeah, and again, it just kind of goes to show, you would think Nintendo would show a bit more celebration, because it wouldn't be, another reason why I think a Metroid Prime Direct, I did a video recently where I talked about this very specific thing, because Nintendo has taken a lot of just time and really a lot of energy to make sure this game becomes a reality, because they could have easily canceled it back in 2019. And they said, no, we're gonna continue making this, but we're gonna start it over. We're gonna make sure it can stand shoulder to shoulder with the previous three. That Metroid Prime 4 Direct, if they choose to have it, would be a great moment for Nintendo and the fans as well. The fans, because they get to see more of this amazing game, but also for the developers to basically kind of give themselves kind of a pat on the back, because hey, we did it. Let's celebrate the fact that this game is finally here. And I hate that they haven't done it yet. So, I guess finally, just one of the biggest, things to kind of close this out. I know this is kind of a brief discussion, but what's one of your biggest hopes for this game whenever it releases?
Okay, this is asking for a lot, but I think the way that Nintendo makes this relevant to everyone and replayable for me is they put online multiplayer in this. We have Prime Hunters. That's been a thing. They've tried it before, but I feel like this is the time to really go in after that, right? If we could basically get where this is a Call of Duty game to a much higher quality, but this is Call of Duty of Nintendo, where you have the campaign, but then you have the whole multiplayer suite. And I don't want that to take away from the campaign in any way. I think that needs to be the crux of the game. But if this could be a really cool additional thing, I would love it. I mean, a Nintendo shooter like this could go so crazy. It could go hyper viral too for Nintendo, which could help sales and just marketing and wider consumer understanding of what Metroid is and all of that kind of thing. And I mean, I personally would just love it. One of my favorite games ever is Splatoon, and I think that game is just one of the most fun things to play. And I think nobody makes a game like Nintendo. And so if they were to make a first-person multiplayer shooter, it would be beautiful. But we haven't really seen it other than on the DS, which was so crazy because who's playing a multiplayer game like that on the DS? It just doesn't make that much sense.
And it's not out of the realm of possibility, because I don't know if you're aware, but they had a multiplayer mode in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. It wasn't online. You had 4 Samus people, and they were moving around. You could all the upgrades from the Metroid universe were scattered around these stages, and you were literally, it was literally a kind of almost, I'm not gonna say like Fortnite, it was kind of a battle royale. You were fighting to eliminate each other, and whoever the last person standing was, that was the way they won. And that would go so far for the Metroid series. I would love that. I really would love that. I think it would do, and plus, like you said, it could bring in that new audience, that new fan base, and grow that fan base as well. Because I really do believe...
Yes, precisely.
Yeah, because I think, while Metroid, I feel like the only reason the Metroid series has survived is because, yes, the fan base is small, but it's very vocal. It's very loud. There's a lot of celebration from this small vocal fan base every time there is something new Metroid related that's come out. And I think that's why Nintendo continues to champion that series. But it needs to grow. The fan base needs to grow for them to continue to be like, because it could be that, this game doesn't sell the way Nintendo wants it to, and they'll be like, yeah, we're not making Prime 5, we're not making Prime 6. And that just kind of goes into what my biggest hope is I hope this game it becomes the best-selling Metroid game of all time. And I'm not talking like it sells 3.1 million units and barely outselling Dread. I'm talking like I want it to bring in a new set of fans so that Nintendo sees, oh wow, Metroid is back. And that, because they've teased in a little bit in some of the trailers that they have released that this is the beginning of a new tale, a new story. And I'm really hoping that even after this game's over, that, there is that 100% post-credit scene like they've done in the previous 3 games that teases, hey, if this game does well, we have a place to take this story. We have a place to take this second trilogy, if you will. Mm-hmm. I hope this is the beginning of a second trilogy, and I really want this game to do well.
Yeah, no, me too. And I feel like the only way that you make this game sustainable with how many revisions and how many hours and much money has been pumped into this is for it to sell really well. And the biggest way to do that is make it a little bit modernized so that Gen Z grabs a hold of it and they're like, oh my god, this is crazy cool. We love Samus in Smash Bros. Here she is in her big whole game. Because, Zero Suit Samus is a huge character, to be honest. And a lot of people who don't know Metroid know that character just because of Smash.
Yeah, totally agree.
So, there's potential there.
Yeah, I will say also, I know Nintendo's... it very well could be that I eat my words. This discussion video is not coming out until Monday of the following week. But, there are small little... I don't know if you saw, but apparently some content creators got to play a new behind-the-closed-doors demo of Prime 4, and they get to release some of their coverage of that tomorrow. And so hopefully, maybe tomorrow, Nintendo just blows down the door on everything. But I doubt it. I feel like it's going to be just some very limited coverage that the content creators got to play, and they get to discuss their thoughts, but... I don't think we're going to see, a new trailer tomorrow, because Nintendo typically doesn't do, big trailers on, weekends, on, Fridays. They typically don't.
Yeah,
and so,
no demo, Nintendo. They send me their games, but they won't send me the freaking...
Yeah,
Dang it, guys.
I know. And that's another thing. I really hope that, because, before Donkey Kong Bonanza came out, they had, you could go to certain retailers like Target, Best Buy, and try a demo a couple weeks before the game launched. I went and did that, and that was a lot of fun. The same thing, they did the same thing for Hyrule Warriors. About 2 weeks before the game came out, you could go and play, one of the early stages, you could play, a demo of that game. Amazing. I hope they do this with Metroid Prime 4. I hope they let you play that I know we've seen coverage and so much footage of the opening of the game and that treehouse footage, but I hope that they will let you go to a retailer and play through at least the opening of the game that everybody's gotten to play at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience, that they've gotten to play just to build the hype, to let people actually, oh wow, if you want to go try it right now, you can. Because I imagine so many people, even diehard Metroid fans, would get the word out so fast, and even it would be a great way to bring newcomers in.
I agree with you. God, I love Metroid. I fell in love with it after Dread and played pretty much every 2D Metroid I could except for Zero Mission, which I still need to play. And once Prime came out on Switch, I was super excited. And so, I am just generally very hyped for this game. I love Samus as a character. I think she is top tier Nintendo, and these games are some of the best that Nintendo has ever made. We just need more people to see that, so they need to make it a little bit more broad appealing.
Agreed. And again, it just kind of goes back to just, literally for Nintendo, this game should be, I would say this should be an even bigger event than Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was, because not even Zelda took this long to develop. This game took this game was announced back in 2017. The fact that this game is now finally almost here, you would think Nintendo would be making a bigger deal about this, and it's terrible if they haven't. So, and again, it very well could be that next week we eat our words, and Nintendo just blows down the door, and I hope they do. But right now, I'm just like, time's a wasted, Nintendo. But anyway, Josie, any final thoughts? Metroid Prime 4, excited. It comes out in 3 weeks. I'm very, very excited, and I can't wait to play it. And hopefully, maybe after you and I play it on our own, maybe we can do a post-game discussion. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, super down. I'm so excited. I will be streaming this game and having the best time with it. This is my most anticipated Switch 2 game. It's been like that for ever since Donkey Kong Country 2 came out, or Donkey Kong Bonanza came out. But that and Bonanza were like my main reason for getting a Switch 2. And I can't believe it's finally here. It's 8 years later, but you know, super excited to check out what it really is.
Better late than never. Josie, thank you so much for joining me for this discussion. Everyone, Josie does a lot of Nintendo content as well. Her links will be in the description below. Almost at 30,000 subscribers. Congratulations. Yeah, so Josie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course, always a pleasure to come on. If you guys came from my side, check him out. Make sure you just subscribe.
Absolutely, thank you so much. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing, as Josie said. And until the next video or next live stream, take care, everyone.